If you're over 50 and live with a cat, he may be picking up on something you're completely unaware of. And it could change the way you see him forever. Cats are far more observant than we give them credit for. And when you've shared your home with one for years, their silent observations start to matter more than you think. They're not just walking around the house in their own little world. They're quietly collecting information about you every single day. Stay until the end, because the last thing he knows could surprise you the most, and maybe even make you see your own life differently. You've probably seen your cat pause in the middle of the room, ears turning, eyes narrowing, as if he's reading a language you can't hear. For most people, those moments pass without a second thought. But if you're in your 50s or beyond, you may have noticed them more often. Age gives you something younger owners don't always have: time. Time to watch your cat's subtle habits. Time to notice when something changes. And a deeper bond that comes from years of shared space, quiet mornings, and evenings when the only sound is his soft breathing near you. Over the years, that bond becomes more than just companionship. It becomes a form of silent communication. You know when he's hungry without him meowing. You can tell when he's irritated by the way his tail moves. And in the same way, he knows things about you that you don't even realize you're showing. Today, we're going to uncover 5 surprising things your cat already knows about you. These aren't just quirky behaviors. They're signals that reveal how closely he's tuned into your life. And the first one might explain moments you've shrugged off for years. The first thing your cat knows about you is your daily rhythm. Your cat doesn't just notice when you wake up or when you feed him. He memorizes the entire flow of your day, almost like a living calendar. Over the years, he has built an internal map of your movements, from the sound of your steps in the morning to the way you settle into your favorite chair at night. He knows when you go to bed, when you get up, and even how long you usually spend in certain rooms. If you suddenly break that pattern, maybe you sleep later, move slower, or skip a familiar task, he'll pick up on it instantly. For someone over 50, these changes might be subtle hints of stress, fatigue, or even early shifts in health. Your cat might react by shadowing you more closely, choosing vantage points to observe you, or meowing at unusual times. Sometimes he might even block your path or sit somewhere you can't ignore him, almost forcing you to take notice of yourself. This isn't just attention seeking, it's his way of checking in, as if to say, something is different. I notice, and I'm here. Over time, he becomes your quiet, furry witness to the life you live and the changes you can't always see in yourself. The second thing your cat senses better than you realize is your energy level. He doesn't need a watch or a thermometer to know when you're at your best or when something is quietly draining you. He notices the pace of your walk, the weight of your footsteps, and even the subtle changes in the tone of your voice. A lighter step, an upright posture, and a warm tone tell him you're feeling well. A slower walk, a slump in your shoulders, or a softer voice hint that you might be tired. For someone over 50, these variations can be signs of how well your body is coping with the demands of daily life. Maybe you had a long night and didn't sleep well, maybe you've been more stressed than usual, or maybe your body is simply asking for a slower pace. Your cat often responds to these changes, becoming calmer, refraining from demanding play, or quietly settling near you. He may even choose to stay in the same room without making a sound, just so you know he's there. In his world, this is an act of care. In your world, it's a reminder that someone is always paying attention, even in silence. The third thing he picks up on is your emotional state, even when you try to hide it. Cats are masters at reading signals that most humans miss. They don't listen to your words. They tune into your breathing, the small tensions in your face, and the way you move. If you come home carrying the weight of a stressful day, your cat might pause at the doorway, watching you before deciding whether to approach. Sometimes he'll keep a little distance, sensing that you need space. Other times he'll quietly curl up nearby, offering silent companionship. Sadness, worry, and even nostalgia have a physical presence, and your cat feels them through the way you exist in the room. For those over 50, emotions are often tied to decades of life experience. And a cat, with his patience and constancy, can become a mirror to those deeper currents. His presence can be a comfort without the pressure of conversation, a living reminder that you're not alone in your moments of reflection. And sometimes, his simple choice to sit with you without expecting anything in return can be more healing than words. The fourth thing he can detect is changes in your physical health. Before you even realize something feels off, your cat may already have noticed. His sense of smell can detect tiny chemical changes in your body, whether from hormonal shifts, inflammation, or even illness. He observes the way you move, a slight limp, slower bending, or hesitation when standing up, and stores these changes in his memory. Some cats will repeatedly sniff or paw at a particular spot on your body, as if trying to draw your attention to it. Others may hover around you more often, their gaze fixed as if studying you. For someone over 50, when the body's signals are not always loud or obvious, this awareness can be surprisingly valuable. Your cat isn't diagnosing you, but in his own way, he's letting you know something about you has changed. And sometimes that quiet signal is the earliest sign that it's time to take a closer look at your own well-being. Many cat owners have later realized their pet was the first to notice when something serious was starting to develop. The fifth and most powerful thing your cat knows about you is when you need him the most. This goes beyond sensing your mood or noticing changes in your health. It's a deeper, almost invisible connection, one built over years of shared moments, routines, and quiet trust. He may appear suddenly in the room during times when you're feeling uncertain, lonely, or simply lost in thought, even if you haven't made a sound. Some owners describe it as their cat appearing out of nowhere exactly when they were struggling the most. It might be during a late night when you can't sleep, or on an afternoon when a wave of worry settles in. Your cat doesn't come to fix your problems. He comes to remind you that you are not facing them alone. For someone over 50, when life's challenges often carry more weight and personal history, that kind of presence can be more grounding than words. His calm breathing, the warmth of his fur, and the steady rhythm of his purring can pull you back from a spiral of thought and into the moment you're living. This is his quiet gift. Not just companionship, but an unspoken promise that he is with you through every chapter, no matter how heavy the page may feel. When you understand what your cat already knows about you, you begin to see every glance, every movement, and every pause in a completely new way. But there's one behavior that leaves more people puzzled than any other. And it happens when the lights are out, the house is quiet, and you're asleep. Why does your cat sometimes sit perfectly still, watching you in the middle of the night or early in the morning? It's not random, and it's not just curiosity. It's one of the most fascinating and misunderstood signals he can give. If you've ever opened your eyes to find him silently staring, you need to know what's really going on in those moments. Click the video that just appeared on your screen and discover the truth behind this behavior. You may never see his gaze the same way again.